Hello, friends. Hi. Hi. Welcome to my show. Hello, Instagram. Hello, friends. Welcome to my show. This is the weekly immigration news and your questions answered live show with Attorney Marina Shepelsky. It's summer 2024. I'm recording this on July 10th, and we're going to talk about the news today. We're going to talk about everything that's going on in the politics world because it really affects our, topics here. We're going to talk about your questions, and I will get to every one of your questions today before I log off. But I will ask you first to please post a hello and where you're watching me from. Okay, I'm gonna log into my Instagram comments here on my computer so I can just concentrate on answering the questions. And we go back. Gonna wait for some more people to join. Hello from Alpha Omar Jallo. Hello. And my friend Billy Cosidi is watching from Oregon State. Hello, Oregon. On Instagram, I already have a question from Boadu, but we'll get to that at the end, a little later. Vidya Moon says hi from California. Hello, California. How is the weather? I was supposed to do a stream with later today with somebody from Texas, and they said they had hurricanes and we had to reschedule. They don't have electricity at the moment. So, how is the weather in California? Alpha is watching from Washington State. Welcome to my show, Washington State and Oregon State and California. Hi from La La Land, IE. Muhammad Zia 759 is watching from Pakistan. Hello to you. So let's slowly start to talk about what happened this week in the news and the fallout from the presidential debate that we had last week. Last week, we had a big first presidential debate between the former President Trump and the current President Biden. And people have been talking about this nonstop every day since. All the major publications, media, every day are discussing how Trump is gonna leave now because he's too old. I'm sorry, not Trump, Biden. Biden showed during the debate that he's too old and too sick to continue to be a president. He should leave. Politico, New York Times, Washington Times, every single big publication has now been talking about how President Joe Biden, should leave and allow somebody else to become the new candidate from the Democratic Party. Everybody's saying that, but of course it hasn't happened yet. Meanwhile, we have Zainab Love watching from Orlando, Florida. We have Adefemi Adeni watching from Windsor Mill, Maryland. Good morning. Good morning to you. Hi, dear, from Caleb Chika Odi. Hello. Holler from La La Land IE at 185. Good morning from Recusant Owl. Good morning. So tell me what you guys think about this Biden situation. Joe Biden has said, I'm absolutely not leaving. I'm staying. I'm running. I'm not stepping out. I'm not too old. It was a bad day, and he actually said, I'm done talking about it. But the Democratic Party is very worried, and it's not just the media, it's people within the party, because Trump is gaining momentum, and that worries me too. Not that I like Biden, I do think he's too old. But now Trump is gaining momentum, and Rahul Mishram says, good morning. Where are you watching me from? Drop me a comment. If you think that Biden is too old and too sick to continue to be in the presidential race. Let me know what you think. And I want to talk to you guys about this because this is a super interesting topic. And of course, some arguments pro and against. Uh, some people are saying that yes, he's too old, but he's got a good cabinet. He's got a strong team. And it's better to have that team than to have Trump and his crazy team coming into the White House. So some people are saying, wait a minute, this is somebody who's got the power over that nuclear button. And we don't want somebody who can't make the final decision be in charge of this. He's too old and like not, in the right state of mind. And other people are saying we love Trump. Trump should be president. He is great. People are saying that he is not a criminal, that he's not a liar, that he's just a regular business person, a guy who wants to do well by America. And a lot of people are tired of like the liberal changes and the liberal ideas being kind of on top in America. They want more conservatism, more Republican values, middle class. And there's arguments for both sides. Let me know what you think. Good morning from Rahul Musiram. And Rahul Musiram is from India, live, and Malaysia also. Pushkar Raj is watching us from India. But I want you guys to say to me here, what do you think? Should Biden remain in the race, even though he was stuttering, he was not coherent, nobody really understood everything that he said on the debate? And should he be in the race? Should he continue to run for president, or should the Democratic Party uh, send somebody in his place? For example, they're talking about sending Kamala Harris, the vice president, to run for president, and some other people who are like in the top-notch people in the Democratic Party. But I'm not sure how that would work and what would happen to Biden's delegates that he has, and it's a big question mark for everyone. However, you probably heard that the U.S. Supreme Court said that Trump, on the other hand, might not be guilty of any crimes, and the New York criminal conviction of 34 counts might be overturned because of the new Supreme Court ruling that says he might have some immunity. Immunity means protection from any liability in criminal cases concerning anything relating his presidential work, anything in official capacity that he might have done. He doesn't have criminal liability for because he was the president of the United States, and the Democratic and liberal media and some of the judges said, well, now we have a king and not a president. And this is what America was about, to get away from the monarchy, kings who are immune from everything. We have a system of checks and balances. They're asking Congress to step in and overturn this US Supreme Court case that also happened last week. It's just insane what's going on. But in the world of, this is my friend from Windsor Mill, Maryland. There's also another case that hasn't been in the news that much, but actually, for us guys, for immigrants here, it's more important than anything else, and that's a case of where it was decided again by Supreme Court, the U.S. Supreme Court, our highest court. It was decided that when a U.S. citizen files a family petition and the U.S. consul denies them overseas when they have an interview in India and Pakistan and Ukraine and Germany, whatever, there's really no constitutional right to an appeal. So you can no longer appeal those denials from the U.S. embassies, which is really crazy. So in other words, if you get a denial overseas, there is no way to appeal it. In here, it looks like yes, you still can file an appeal with the Board of Immigration Appeals if your case was here in the state. But if they went to an interview and the consul denied, they said there's no constitutional right to a U.S. citizen to get their spouse or family petition approved. So that's really going to affect anybody who fails, who gets denied at family unification interview. Abili has a question, so I'm just going to start getting into your questions. Please, I have a question. A friend called me yesterday and told me that there was a law that passed last year that asylum is only granted to those who are married. I want to ask if this is true. It is absolutely false. Your marriage status has nothing to do with asylum. Nothing to do with asylum. But thank you for asking. Sometimes I'm always surprised at these rumors. Reclusion Owl says, vote for Trump, man. It's Harry, president who needs this today. All right. Um, Rahul Masaram says U.S. work visa. Okay. Pushkar says, I think he's the president. He's in. Oh, Biden. So Pushkar thinks Biden is a great president. He should remain in the race and he should continue running. And Vidya Moon says the weather in California is beautiful, especially in Laguna Niguel or Niger. Thank you for posting. I'm going to be jealous. It's very hot and humid where I am, and I'm in New Jersey right now. All right, let's continue our conversation. I will now answer any questions you guys have about your cases, but this is only for other people to kind of learn something about immigration law. This is not meant as any legal advice. This is only meant to kind of provide information about different types of cases. If you need legal advice, if you need a strategy in your case, it's best to call us. We're in the States at 718-769-6352. It's best to call us for your immigration consultation. And if you go on our website, you can also schedule a consultation for like a Zoom meeting with one of us. It doesn't have to be me. And I noticed that I actually don't have personally any consultations left there online. But if you call, there are consultations available. We keep them for people who call in. So give us a call if you need an urgent consultation. I personally still have some spots, and so does my team as well. Alpha has a question. He says, "What do you think? Who is better between Biden and Trump for the undocumented immigrants?" Definitely Biden. For undocumented immigrants, Biden is better. His administration has made a lot of efforts to legalize different categories of people. They provided the parole program for people from Latin America, from Ukraine. I think that would be better. Arthur for us, Biden promised to do a lot of things about it, but nothing got done. The choice is terrible. Only one promises and another one who only makes more. So Arthur is saying Biden is good at promising things, but he got nothing done. There's still no amnesty, a real amnesty. That parole in place for spouses of U.S. citizens is such a limited program. They're saying maybe around 500,000 people will be benefiting from this, but that's not a lot of people. That's very few. On the other hand, so that's one choice, Biden, who promises and doesn't deliver. And then we have Trump, who just wants to deport everyone and also is bad for immigrants. So this is choice. I totally agree with Arthur here. I'm with Arthur. I agree. Both are terrible. I hate both of these candidates. I can't stand them. I'm ashamed of our country for having nobody better. Okay? All right, let's continue talking about the news and let's continue answering your questions. We have the new visa bulletin. I'm going to show it on the screen for July of 2024. Although it's made some progress in certain, I'm going to share my screen here so you guys can see. All right. So you can see this screen here. I make it bigger so you guys can see it. You can see in the screen the visa bulletin. Some dates have moved for family situations. F1 is spouses. I'm sorry. F1 is unmarried sons and daughters of U.S. citizens. F2A is spouses and children of permanent residents. F2B is unmarried sons and daughters of permanent residents. F3 is married sons and daughters of U.S. citizens. And the fourth category is siblings, brothers and sisters of adult U.S. citizens. So there's a little bit movement, a little tiny bit of movement, about 1 month on many of these categories. And the same goes for the employment categories. But generally speaking, look how delayed the employment categories are. And they said that there might not be any movement until the end of this fiscal year, until October 1st. On the third category, they're stuck on the third category on the 1st of December of 2021, which seems like it's 3 years, but it's actually more since they're stuck on it. So that's the story with the visa bulletin. While I'm talking, feel free to post your question here, and we will answer your question in the order that I read them here on the screen. Uh, okay. Rahul Musiram says that he speaks Hindi. Recusant Al says, I tried to find information about the ability to ask asylum status in USA while somebody left the danger zone and waiting same status in you, but they got discrimination from European forces. So the question is, can you file for asylum? Can you ask the US government for asylum while you are in Europe, basically? And the question is, you can ask, but so the answer is you can probably ask, but I'm not sure you will receive asylum because if you are safe in Europe, US will probably not grant you asylum. If you are safe with Europe, yes, you escape from a dangerous zone, but you are safe in Europe, then you should remain with asylum in Europe, according to the US government. So you might have a problem with that, all right? Another question from Alpha. If an undocumented seeks asylum with 1 year, can the person be deported even though he already applied for asylum and waiting for work permit and waiting for his court date? No, you have a right to a hearing if you filed for asylum timely, and you're not going to be deported. You don't have to worry. While you're waiting, they're not going to deport you. Now, I've seen people picked up by ICE for various reasons while they're waiting for asylum, but at the end of the day, they're not going to deport you. They're going to give you a chance to have your day in court. Although it might be sooner than originally thought, you're not just going to get deported. You have a right to a hearing on your asylum question. Another question here from Vidya Moon. The question is, my VAWA was filed 35 months ago. I'm worried and I just got another prima facie. I know it's frustrating, but 35 months is still a little bit under what they're considering normal processing times for VAWA. At this time, it's like 37 months for VAWA. So you should get an answer within 2 3 months. Do not worry. The fact that you got another prima facie means they're working on your case. They're processing it. All right. Vidya Moon says, I'm worried because I didn't file that VAWA concurrently with the I-485 and the work permit I-765 application. It's been 35 months. I still don't have work permit, but prima facie is all I got. What should I do? You could file, if you want, the I-485 and the work permit application now, but there might be a reason why your lawyer didn't file it. Maybe you had like a prior deportation or something. So I would just wait for now. I don't think you need to do anything else. You're very close to getting the answer from VAWA. And if your VAWA is approved, you will get the work permit automatically. You don't have to apply for it at all right now. So let's just give it a little more time and see what happens. All right, let's see. What else is new? with the U.S. immigration news here. Um, well, Fox News is reporting that a soccer star says that uncontrolled immigration, like open borders, has overwhelmed Germany. Then this is not U.S. immigration, but Germany leaving the country unrecognizable. People in Europe are complaining about too many refugees, and they're saying that their countries are not being the same countries anymore because of all the new immigrants. This publication called The Conversation says, surprise, American presidential voters actually largely agree on many issues. The Republicans, the Democrats, they agree. They're not on different sides of it, including topics like immigration and also abortion and wealth inequality. And that makes things kind of difficult because, on the one hand, we have two presidential candidates who are so different, like night and day, and disagree on everything. But the voters, the people voting for them, largely agree. Okay? And they agree that taxes should be cut. They agree that something should be done about immigration. They agree about many things. They want to worry about their communities first. And this is such a historical time because the candidates are like not on top of what the people are worried about and thinking about. Video Moon says, thank you very much. Recuse and Al says, yes, I'm safe from the war, but I don't have any rights or status in Europe. I can't even bank because there's a discrimination of Russians. Oh, you're from Russia. Look, I would try to come to the States. Right now, you can ask for asylum on the US border, but you must use CBP 1 in Mexico. You have to go to Mexico, ask for asylum, use CBP 1. I had one client who yesterday was scheduled for the CBP 1 interview for asylum on the border. He waited 241 days to be scheduled, and he's scheduled for August, actually. Alpha says first, thank you so much for your answers. And my other question is, does it take long to get your work permit as a first-time applicant? Some places it takes about 1 year now to get the work permit. Some places it's much quicker. For asylum, it's usually quicker because we know like a trick to make asylum pending people get a work permit fast. And thank you from Alpha. Y says, is there any possibility of amnesty like a registry or the Dignity Act or something like that? Nope, not before this election. And then after the election, we will see. But right now, I don't think any amnesty is going to happen anytime soon because Biden is not going to want to rock the boat and anger Republican voters, people who might be interested in voting for him because they hate Trump. Let's see what else is going on in the news. I'm glad I'm getting to talk about the news because I love talking about it. And usually I just get tied up with all the questions. Today we don't have as many, so I can talk about the news more. Um, Time magazine decided to talk about the regional origins of America's first really old comprehensive federal immigration law. A century ago, in May of 1924, President Calvin Coolidge, 1924, 100 years ago, President Calvin Coolidge signed into law the Immigration Restriction Act and proclaimed America must remain American. Coolidge alluded to a slogan popularized by the Ku Klux Klan, America for Americans. Trump is saying something like that now. America has to be great again. With the passage of the new immigration law in 1924, the Klan's racist, white supremacist, and xenophobic worldview has become mainstream in America 100 years ago, supported by both Democrats and Republicans, and the bill passed the House of Representatives with 82% support. So, guys, this hate for immigrants goes back to at least 100 years before us. And It is totally racist and based in the Ku Klux Klan racist ideas. So here you go. In case you were all wondering, where is this all coming from? Where is this all coming from? It's coming from what white Americans felt about immigrants as far back as 1924. Here's some news for you, all right? Um, um, Good morning, says Mani Kumar. Good to see you. Thank you so much. Good to see you. Natalie says, hi, Marina. How long does it take for USCIS to send a letter? They got my case. I got charged on July 3, but no updates on my account so far. Um, I don't know what case you're talking about. Are you talking about filing for like asylum or a green card? If Oh, you got charged, so like they took the money from your credit card on July 3rd. It's the 10th, usually 3 weeks. So you still have about 3 weeks left to wait for the receipt notice. You will get an official USCIS receipt notice for your case if they took the money already. Alpha Omar says, Emma, I'm in Washington State. How about there? About a year in Washington State. A question from Prasath Rajendran. Hi, madam. I entered U.S. from the Mexican border. I crossed in 2024 on March 3rd. Now only I know that I have to present the ICE office within 60 days, but I don't go there. Will this affect my asylum case? I mean, it depends. It could. If you violated the check-in for ICE, they could come and arrest you. I would reach out to them and see what's going on. And I also would monitor what is happening with your court case. You might have a court hearing that you don't even know about. All right. So I definitely would check with immigration court if you have a hearing coming up and where and when, the date. And also I would check in with ICE. I don't know why you missed checking in when you were supposed to. Natalie says, thank you, Marina. Thank you for your question. I appreciate that. Um, Rahul Mr. Ram says, Amen. Amen. Okay, guys. Well, I think for today, that's all I'm going to do. Let's wrap this up. I'm going to prepare for my next live now. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, you can still post them in the comments and we'll get back to you with the answers. And um, reach out if you need a consultation. Even if I'm not available, we have a wonderful team. And if you call us, I'm still available on some dates that are not on our website in the link. I have the last question because I really want to get more in today from Latish Boyer 786 who says, hi. Nowadays for waiver taking more than 3 years after marriage and approved driving 30 and being here for 10 years still. I can apply for asylum to get the work permit to help my family. Yes, you can apply for asylum and even potentially cancellation of removal. And if you're married to a U.S. citizen, very soon you will need a waiver because Biden is going to have the parole in place. The program for parole in place for spouses of U.S. citizens is coming out soon. It has not yet come out, but we're all waiting. So you might have to wait for the parole in place, and you can also file for asylum to get the work permit if you can put some reasonable reason down, some reasonable basis for asylum back to your country. And I'm sure if you were like from India, Malaysia, Pakistan, there's so much to talk about. I don't know if anybody from India is here. Have you guys been following this crazy, crazy wedding? Justin Bieber was just performing there for $10 million. I'm going to give you the names. Okay. Anand Ambani, the youngest son of like the biggest Indian billionaire, marrying a daughter of another Indian billionaire. And so her name is Radhika Merchant. And for their long wedding festivities, they've already had Rihanna. Now they have Justin Bieber. I think they're going to spend like the sum of $1 billion on the stupid wedding where people in India are starving. There's no good air quality. There's no good water quality. There's such a huge difference between the poor and the rich. And instead of helping the Indian poor, helping the environment with $1 billion, there's so much you can do. They spent millions of dollars on the wedding, on their stupid watches and necklaces and jewelry and dresses and all that, and these stars to come out. For God's sake, help your country if you have billions to spare. Help your country, please. I can't watch this. This is ridiculous. All right, I'm going to log off. Thank you for watching. Kada says hello, my lawyer. Can people get married online? Yes, I think the state of Utah is still marrying people online, but you would have to prove that you consummated it with some affidavits that after the wedding you know, how does it work? You have to contact the state of Utah for a marriage license online. Um, oh yeah, Y says after spending all that money on the wedding, they will probably divorce. Yeah, maybe. I don't even care about that. I'm just saying if you have millions to throw around, please throw it at your water, at the air. It's like the worst case of air pollution anywhere in the world is in India. Do something fundamental. It's a lot of money and you can do a lot with it. Thank you so much for watching. Love you all. Love you and appreciate every one of you for watching. Thank you, and I'll see you next week. Thank you again.